feeling to Jablonci is, of course, first I was born here. And within my first 3 years, when I was a baby, I felt very well here. And we have been in Kokkonin, and I have very good Erinnerungen, thinkings for our neighbors. And when I was a child, I was every time in the neighbors' apartments and so on. Yeah, it was a nice time. My father, he has a Czech mother, but he was a very nationalist German. Like many people which are from the mixed marriages.
Mixed families.
Mixed families, yeah. And my family from Jablonci, I think they have not been any interested in politics. Of course they were Germans, but no in parties or nationalists party, no. And then I remember that when we have to go away, because my parents, my mother, she was married with an Austrian man. And so we could go in 45 to Vienna. And I didn't want to leave Kokkonin, and I asked to my aunt if she could bring me to the roof to stay at the Blitzableiter. I don't know in English. That means when the bliss came down, I would stay here, yeah. At the top, yeah, and thunderstorm, yeah. And it was of course not possible, but then I was away. They were looking for me because the train was going in 1 hour, 2 hours. And we passed in Prague, and in Prague was an accident. And all the coffers came down to the people, and in the first wagon there were some people say asthmat. And we came to Vienna, and Vienna all was bombed, even the apartment of my parents or of my grandparents. My grandfather, he has a half Hungarian father, and his wife, she was from Radeckrálové, from Libnikovice, and so my father learned perfect Czech language when he was a child. And my grandparents, they were geschieden, diverse. I didn't know my grandmother from Vienna or from Libnikovice. I knew only my grandmother from Kokkonin, and my mother went with me in 46 to bring my grandmother to Vienna. It was possible. And our family here from the Zappe is a very old family, and I made the Stammbaum, and we find that our family is until the 30-jährigen Krieg, until 1640, 50. So we have directly here our family. Part of my family, they have go to the Eastern Germany, the later GDR. And it was a very bad situation. They were sitting in a dorf, near Berlin, near Jüterbock, and all was destroyed because it was a Truppenübungsgebiet. It was for military. There were no private persons, and all the houses were shut down or bombed or so for Übungen, for exercises from the military. And so the people from Jablonci came there. Now you can imagine, my cousin is as old as me. He was 3 years, and his sister was 2 years. It was not the best time. It was worse than our time in Vienna. In Vienna we have not had any windows, all was destroyed, but it was possible for to live, to stay alive. And when I was 21, I decided to know my family, the German even as well as the Austrian family. And I said to my parents, write to them that we would like to have contact. And it was every time a very good contact, and we like each other. I was a very bad pupil. In the school it was a catastrophe. And besides, I intended to become a farmer in this time. And so it was incredible for me to have to play piano, for example. But I was good in piano, but my father tried to learn it to me, and he was not a pedagogue, he was only, and so I hated it. And I was very glad that when I was 14, I have forgotten all. And when I was 15, I changed my future ideals, and I intended to go to the Danube, to the ship. And I was there. When I was 15, after school, I went to the Donau-Dampfschifffahrtsgesellschaft, the Danube Ship Society, and I was there 6 years. And after 6 years, it was enough, and I was 21. And this time, you was 21. You have been adult, and then I went to Germany, and I thought perhaps 1-2 years in Munich, and then London, Paris, and I stayed in Munich, and I'm very glad there. And it's now more than 60 years. I went to Munich as a Hilfsarbeiter, as a worker. And then, it was not so nice. And then I make evening classes. I made the Matura, and then I started to study art historian. First, I intended to make architecture, but in every case, it stays always my interest in architecture. Therefore, for Fellner and Helmer, architects of these buildings, and about 50 more theaters in Europe. And so I was rather good. And when I was about 50, I got a question if I would like to make a list for monument protection of Jablonci, because I'm born here. Of course, it was ideal for me, and so I did it. And the contacts, the first time, they were a little difficult in 1990. So, a man from Western Germany, he is interested in the monument, what should be. That the people, they want to have their houses back or what. And so at the beginning it was reserved, but after a while it was all normal. But then I have not had so much time. But the people from the monument protection, so we are today friends. My dream is to actualize my old list of monument protection from 45 years ago, or 30 years almost. What is okay, what is beautiful renovate, like the theater, what is destroyed. And I would like to do it, but it's not possible to make it without money. And I think from the Sudetendeutsche Landsmannschaft, they are not more as interested as 20 years ago. And here I don't know. In every case, I will go to the Sudetendeutsche Tag in Regensburg. It will be in the next month. And I will have an own cabin where I can show my list of monuments from the 90s, the 1990s, and some photos and some films, because you make just something with me. And 2 years ago I have had an interview with scholars from Jablonci, and they asked me about the history. And it was a very nice film. It's about 10 minutes, but they were asking me in Czech, and I was asking in German, and it was undertitled. Because I was sometimes in the reviews, in the newspapers. And I remember I went one time to make copies in a copy shop here, and the lady said to me, "Dieter Klein." I said, "Approach, you know me." "Yeah, you have been in the review," and so a lot of people know me here. My feeling, I'm here at home. And the people, when I was a child, the people almost all are died. And so, it's not such a big difference if I'm with friends together, if they are Czech or German, doesn't matter, or Hungarians, I have contacts too. Yes, I have a big Forschungsauftrag, a big project about the influence of the Munich architecture to the Habsburg countries, and of course Jablonci, Prague, Budapest, Lemberg, Czernowitz, and Italy, Bozen, it was Austrian too, and so it's my culture. It's my culture, the Austrian-Hungarian monarchy. I know what happened here after 1938, and I know what happened after 45, and both are not good. Not the people with the both characters were here working, but so it was a lot time later. Today it's not more problem, and I saw there came no more the old people from Sudetenland, from Jablonci. I think I am one of the last. I'm 83, and I can imagine it will not be too long possible to come from the origin people, let's say. 20 or 30 years ago, my generation, they believed, now the paradise started now. We see nothing. Putin, or with what happened in Kiev, and they are bombing it, and it's incredible. But between Czechs and Germans, there are not more problems, I think. And I see it here when we have been yesterday with our relations in a cafe, and when we go out, the people from the neighbor tables, they said, "Auf Wiedersehen." It's because I heard that we were talking in German, but without problems.